Hi, and welcome to Career Happy with Julie, a monthly show on Anderson Community Television designed to give you the inspiration, the tools, the education, the resources, and sometimes the kick in the seat of the pants that you need to find the job that's going to have you skipping to the shower on Monday mornings. I'm Julie Bauke, president of the Bauke Group. Today I'm going to talk to young professionals, new grads, soon-to-be grads, those who are maybe in their first job, but they're not very happy with where they landed. Let's back up a little bit. When you were leaving high school, you had all these great ideas about what you wanted to do in your career, or maybe you had no idea what you wanted to do in your career. That's totally normal. And if you're like a lot of people, you went off to college, you worked hard, got decent grades, I'm sure you had a little fun too, and you thought, I'll figure it out. I'll know what to do when I graduate by the time I graduate. Or you're somebody who thought you knew what you wanted to do, but the further you got into it in college or maybe even in an internship, you said to yourself, this isn't what I thought it was. And so what we feel sometimes is like we're back to square zero and we just don't know what to do next. So undoubtedly, on your college campus, you had a career services office. Every campus has one, and many of them do a good job in providing you with the tools and resources that you need to find your first job. Now, a lot of times, you know it's there, but you never really go. And you don't do anything with them except maybe go to a couple job fairs, and then when it's time to interview, you start interviewing. So when you're ready to graduate, and when you're starting to think about graduating, you may or may not have a better idea of what you want to do, at least in your early career, than you did when you started. Or maybe you're confused and completely lost. A lot of times we get our first jobs in our majors, and then we get there and say, I don't like this. I need to find something else. And that's when we can feel stuck and unprepared and not quite sure what to do next, really confused. And we oftentimes don't know who to ask. And so what I want to talk about today is how do you, if you're getting ready to graduate, or you're watching this and you have sons and daughters that are getting ready to graduate, or they're living in your basement for heaven's sakes, or they're in their first job and they don't know what to do next because maybe they aren't happy, how do you move forward from that? I saw a quote in a national newspaper a couple years ago that I thought was just a great example of what a lot of the issue is when we're young, early in our careers. This kid was working as a barista at a Starbucks. And the article was about people who graduate from college who don't have jobs or don't have jobs in their majors. And the reporter apparently asked him about how long he'd been in his job search. And he said, I've been looking for 2 years. And he said, and I don't even know what I'm looking for. And I thought, wow, what a statement. In any other area of our lives, if we look for something without knowing what we're looking for, we're not likely to find it. If we're looking for our car keys, we're going to know when we find them. If we're looking for a great place for a cup of coffee, we're going to know when we find it. But if we're looking for a job or a career that we're really going to enjoy, if we don't know what we're looking for, how will we ever recognize it when it comes to us? So my first question to you is, what are you looking for? And if your response to that question, in response to me or anybody else in your life who asks you that question is, well, I really just want something in which I can contribute, that'll challenge me, working with good people, doing good work, that is a complete waste of your breath. Because it doesn't help me help you. It doesn't help anyone in your network help you. Know that 2/3 or more of people get their jobs, whether it's their first job or their last job, through someone they know or someone they meet in their job search. So if you believe that, and I hope you do, the people that you're networking with and the people that you meet with have to know what you're looking for so they know how to help you. So when we cast that net very widely and say, well, I'm really not that picky, I'll really do anything, we really are not setting ourselves up for success. So being specific on what we're looking for, at least to the extent that we can describe what kind of work we want to do, is one of the most helpful things we can do for people in our network. Therefore, it's one of the most helpful things we can do for ourselves in our job search. A lot of times when we're new in the job market, or when we don't feel like we have a lot of options, because we've been listening to all this stuff about how bad the job market is, we think that we have to be really, really open. I'll do anything. I'm just looking for my first opportunity. And really, that's not true. None of us are good at everything, including you, and I don't even know you, and I'm sure you're not good at everything. But we've been told sometimes by our parents that we are. We're not. I'm here to tell you, you're not. You're not equally good at event planning as you are at figuring out a problem, a problem with your PC. Or you're not equally good at writing as you are in speaking in public. So what is it that you're good at? What are you looking for? What kind of work are you looking for? How can I help? If you can't answer that question in a compelling way that propels people into action to help you, you have a lot of work to do in figuring out what you want to do. So some more questions I want to ask. If you know what you're looking for, are you sure it exists? A lot of people say, well, I really want to work for a mission-focused organization, doing good work, doing this, 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 and this. Are you sure that it exists? And if you are, do you know how to be successful in that role? If you say, I really want to be a meeting planner, can you really describe, do you really know what it takes to be a successful meeting or event planner? Can you then align your skills with what it takes to be a meeting planner? If you are interested in staying in the local area, wherever your local area happens to be, and you want to do something that is not in great demand in your local area, then it's not realistic geographically. Are you a strong candidate? Let's be honest. If you are competing for a job in an area in which there is a high amount of people looking for those jobs, but a relatively low demand, then the employer who's looking to fill those roles can be more selective. So they might have 3 jobs and have a stack of resumes this high. How do you think you stack up against the other people looking for those jobs? If you have a C+, B- average and from a school that is not considered a top-tier school in that major, and you're competing against people who have great experience, great grades, and they're coming from a top-tier school, and it's a position in which there is not great demand, but there's a lot of people who want those jobs, it's going to be hard for you to stand out. Now, this does not mean you would not be a good hire and couldn't maybe go in and run circles around those people. But you have to be realistic. Are you going to start managing a brand inside of a major corporation or inside of a firm that has big customers? Probably not. You really do. You may get really tired of hearing this phrase, but you do have to pay your dues. You may be someone who's positioned to be a future super strong employee or contributor, but you do have to go in and prove it. So what are you looking for? Does it exist? Do you know and can you articulate what being successful in that role takes and what it looks like? Is it realistic given your geography? If you're in Cincinnati and you want to be an investment banker, there probably are not many opportunities here as compared to bigger cities like New York, San Francisco, Chicago. Are you willing to move? Are you a strong candidate for the job? As we've talked about, how will you stack up against other people who are also going for those jobs? What's the competition? We always have to know what the competition is, right? What's the competition? When you see those types of jobs, you need to know that there will probably be hundreds of applicants. So what is it about you that stands out? Can you make a compelling case for why you're a great candidate? So when you think about the networking conversations that you're having or the interviews that you've been having, when you think about the typical careers, the typical questions that people get asked in those interviews, things like, well, why should we hire you? Gee, Debbie, I've got a stack of resumes this big. Why you? Why you? Can you answer that? I'm a really hard worker and I love a challenge and I love working with people. Yawn, because that is what everybody says. What is it about you best positions you for success in the job or career of your choice? Why are you a great candidate? You know, one of my favorite questions that I think that you're always going to be asked and that you have to be ready to answer is, tell me about yourself. And I know you dread that question. We all do. And you've probably been coached, maybe in college, or you've been doing some research online, or maybe you just wing it when it comes to tell me about yourself. One of my least favorite answers to tell me about yourself. So if I ask you, tell me about yourself, and you say in response, what do you want to know? That's not a good answer. The question is, what do you want me to know? What do you want people to know about you? And how are you going to answer that question? That is one of the most core questions in any job search, is tell me about yourself. And you can hurt your chances by answering it incorrectly or poorly, or going blah, 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 and on and on and on. Or you can help your chances by really being very clear about who you are and what you want people to know about you. And you may think, coming right out of school, that you don't have much to offer, and that is not true. Everything that you've done in high school and in college, in your summer jobs, in your volunteer activity, matters. They're part of your story. So if you were the head lifeguard at a pool in the summer, you might think, well, lifeguard, I don't want to be a lifeguard again, so that experience is irrelevant. No, it isn't. It's a very responsible position. And even better, if you had a supervisory role or you were the person in charge when the pool manager wasn't there, that's a great story. Because what that says is that others recognize in you some qualities that said, this is a good person we can trust. So take a good hard look at the roles that you've played and how do your successes in those roles go into creating the story that then goes into answering the 1 to 2 minute question, the 1 to 2 minute answer related to tell me about yourself. All right, so now we're getting somewhere maybe, I hope. So now you're saying, okay, so here's who I am, here's the kind of work I want to do. Maybe I don't know what it takes to be successful, or maybe I want to learn more about it, or learn how I should be positioning myself. Who do you know who does it? If you want to be in market research, do you know someone who is in market research? If you don't, or if you think you don't, go back to your school, find out, are there any alumni, any alums who have been in that world that would be willing to talk to you, to not only help you learn more about it and how you might match up, but also to help maybe connect you to people who might be hiring. So who do you know who does it? This is a great time to talk about LinkedIn and how important it is in your career. If you are a college junior, senior, or a young professional, you must, let me repeat it, you must have an up-to-date, robust LinkedIn profile, which helps you connect with your college alums, with people in the profession you want to get into, and with other people you know who you may have something in common with. It's a way to get yourself out there. So who do you know who does it? You can go on LinkedIn and find people who do it and ask for them to speak with you for a few minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. And the younger you are, the better, because those of us who are older than you are generally enjoy helping younger people. But if you were an alum of my university, I would feel more positive about helping you. So connect with those alums is a great way to go about it. So now, if you have some idea what you want to do, feeling fairly confident that you have the skills to do it, think you're a decent candidate, decided it's realistic, and you understand you've identified a few people who do it so you can have those conversations, and so you learn more from those people about how to position yourself and how to go get it. Do you have a plan to get it? And here's a hint, the plan does not include sitting at home and staring at your laptop all day. People don't hire people. People don't hire attachments or word attachments. They hire individuals. People they meet, people they like, people that come referred, people that feel good about hiring. What's your plan to get it? If I said to you, get in the car and drive to Dallas, you could probably figure out how to get to Dallas without a map. You could probably stumble onto Dallas. But if you had a map, a planned out route to get there, not only are you more likely to hit your target, but you're more likely to do it in a smart, effective, and efficient way. Same thing with your job search. Know what resources you have at your disposal to be a part of that plan. Who are the people you know? What do they know? Who do they know? How can you connect with those people? How can you buy them coffee and get ideas from them? What resources do you have, and what are you doing to get it? If your strategy is to lay on the couch, play video games, and apply online, I promise you that you are likely to be living in your parents' basement for a long time, or you are very likely to land a job that is not the right job for you. You have to get out and connect with people. So what are you doing to get it? Here's some thoughts. Your next job is not going to knock on your front door. So getting out in front of people, having coffee with people, volunteering in causes and in situations that you care about will put you in places where you can have natural conversations with people. If you have a love for animals and you volunteer at an animal shelter on Saturdays and Sundays, you will be having conversations with people that you have something in common with, and they will naturally say to you, "So what are you doing? I see that you just graduated. What are you working during the week, or what are you doing?" "Well, no, I've not really found that job I'm looking for yet." "Well, what are you looking to do?" That's when you deliver your "Tell me about yourself" message. That's when you deliver the message that says, "I'm a young professional who's going places. I know in general what I'm looking to do, and I'm looking to develop a plan to get there. I've got some self-awareness. I've got clarity on what makes me happy at work, and I'm not afraid to express that preference." Versus your peers who are probably saying things like, I really don't know. I'm really just looking for a challenge. I'm looking to work with good people. Do you realize that if you say that to someone, they have no way to help you? Because that is not specific enough. But if you say, I'm looking to explore opportunities in entry-level market research, because connecting data with customers and then with action plans or marketing plans is something that I believe I have the skills for, and I believe I would be very successful at. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden, you've given people ways to help you. So they might be able to say, I know people who do that. I know people who'd be willing to talk to you about that. Have you considered this company? Have you talked to this person? Joe over there cleaning out the kennels, he works at a company that does nothing but market research. The guy over there picking up the poop might be able to help you. But until you're willing to pull those ideas together in a plan and actually share them with people that you're talking to, you will feel stuck. So I want you to ask yourself, am I spending my time in a way that is really advancing my career? And I get it. If you're working in a job you don't like, let's say you graduated and you have your first job in a place you don't like, and you say, "Man, I don't have time to look." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You can do a lot of this planning on your own time. Don't put together a job search that consists of locking your door and surfing around on websites at lunchtime. That is not how you're going to get it done. You need to figure out, if you're in a job that you don't like, you need to figure out what you like about it, what you don't like about it, what you're good at, what you're not so good at, and figure out how to not necessarily throw it all away, but how to pivot to more satisfaction. And sometimes that's right in your current company. Sometimes you have to leave. But until you realize that you need to be in the driver's seat of your career and not be locked in the trunk, you will never get where you're trying to go. So understand, this is not something you can outsource. Your mom can't do it for you. Career Builder can't do it for you. Your buddies can't do it for you. It's something that you need to get to from a self-focused way and understand that you're not good at everything, but what you're good at and what you like to do can really be the core of a really successful career. And the really great thing is, if you're watching this and you're in your 20s, you have probably 40 plus years left to work. And if you can figure this stuff out right now and move toward that in the next several moves and all of the moves in your career, you really are on a path to be wildly successful in your career. So get up, get off the couch, get out and meet with people, get clear on who you are, have the courage to state that and share that in the market, and get ready to rock. This has been Career Happy with Julie, and we'll see you next time.